John Parker is a PR specialist and author whose book highlights the racism that we don't always recognize. Please welcome to our show, John Parker.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So why this book, From Sheets to Suits?
I started writing the book 3 days after the Michael Brown shooting in 2014. And being from Ferguson and being the first black family in Ferguson, it was a very emotional time for me to watch it all play out day after day and night after night and on a national stage. And it was just, I got a calling. It's time to address some issues, and anyone who knows me knows that I usually address them in very blunt and frank ways, and this book is my way of addressing some things.
So the Michael Brown shooting was police brutality, but this is about employment in racism.
Well, it's about everything.
Okay.
It's about police brutality. It's about governmental stereotypes, employment discrimination. It's about embedded racism in American society.
So what about the title? Because when I first read the title, I'm like, is this what I think this is about?
Yes.
And it is.
It is. Well, the title stems from, we don't recognize racism as it used to be. 50 years ago, it was people running down the streets in pickup trucks and Confederate flags, and the Klan was very, very prominent. You had people running around in sheets. Now people run around in suits and ties.
What are some examples of racism today, besides, of course, the blatant?
Well, you still have the blatant stuff, but you have underlying racism now, where you've got it in housing markets, and you have it in employment situations where companies and organizations are striving to get the right look for their companies. So they have screening systems through HR and through hiring practices now to be sure that companies get the right look for their company, and these are ways that you segregate people out of your company. So companies scream all the time about being diverse, and we want to be diverse.
There are so many opportunities for the diversity and inclusion directors.
Diversity is real simple. If you want to be diverse, be diverse. Okay, not something you ease into. So we have to get to a point in society where we're comfortable having the uncomfortable conversation about racism.
Who do you think is most uncomfortable talking about it?
Well, I think it makes everybody uncomfortable. In some cases, obviously, white America gets very uncomfortable. You have St. Louis. I'm sure you've heard this. It's one of the most segregated cities in the country.
Very polarized.
And what's the most popular question that's asked in St. Louis? Where'd you go to high school at?
Right.
That's nothing more than code for where you grew up at and where the line is drawn in your neighborhood in separation from every other neighborhood. And there's been lots of governmental entities that have played into that. So, where you have HUD homes, things like that. You'll never find a HUD home in Chesterfield, but HUD homes segregate people. They segregate areas. So you have, it's embedded in every policy and process in business, in law enforcement, in the judicial system, in the education system.
Yeah.
It's just embedded in America and in the St. Louis area very prominently. And we have to get to a point where we can sit down and have this conversation with people that don't look like us on both sides of the aisle and somehow begin to work these things out.
So we got to take a short break, but
Absolutely.
I want to know how to have this conversation, how your book is going to help, right?
I hope so.
And so when we come back, we'll talk more with John Parker with his new book, From Sheets to Suits. Stay with us.